7 o'clock, 7:03. We're waiting on people to arrive in the Zoom meeting for Authors Helping Authors, which is going to be moderated by me. Yay, I'm hosting. My name is Josephine, and I write clean romance books. I also write a Christian romance book, and I have written a sort of self-help book. That's all under my regular name. I also have a pen name called Jo B, and that was for my medieval fantasy trilogy and a little novella series, which is kind of I'm really not even sure what to classify it. It's my own little thing that I just write for me. And if other people find it interesting, that's cool. So I have currently published, let me think, like 9 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. You do the math. Maybe 14 books, something like that, 14, 15 books through Amazon. I've also written before for a local newspaper. I did that for probably about 6 years. And I co-wrote and wrote some scripts for a small indie TV production company. So that was quite a while ago, but it was all fun. So that's my writing repertoire. I have been published on Amazon for a while, but I wasn't really serious about it until last year, and actually made money, which was great. Writing my clean romance books, which are kind of a comedy twist to them. They're lots of fun. Most of them are in a series. I think I forgot 2 extra ones of the clean romance. Crud. I might be up to 16 or 17 books. I forgot 2 of the clean romance anyhow. And I'm still writing that series, which has been a wonderful series for me. And I'm looking forward to getting this book done, hopefully in the next month or 2, and getting a huge kind of page turner in that series done as well for the next book, because that's going to be really fun. I was hoping to do this little Authors Helping Authors as a self-help for people who have experience and people who don't have the experience, kind of exchanging ideas and knowledge that they have in the areas that they have learned about, so that other people can learn from them and we can grow and continue to profit at this fabulous business of writing. Because I think, well, I've made a profit at it, so why can't anybody else, right? That's my plan anyhow. So the general idea was tonight to kind of brainstorm what topics we could talk about, maybe kind of limiting one topic per week, because I've only got a slot of a half hour, and kind of going from there. So maybe one week would be like advertising on Facebook, another week might be advertising on Amazon, another week might be talking about blurbs on the back of your book, some weeks we might talk nonfiction versus fiction. It just depends what everyone's interest lies and what everyone wants to do. However, we need people to see my sister Tracy. She's awesome. She's my PA. This is the Zoom chat box. Anyhow, we'll get rid of it so you can see yourself.
Can people leave comments after this is done?
Well, they can't leave comments after it's done, but they can always message me on Facebook, or they can just say it in the group and then tag my name and say, hey, I think we should talk about this, or I think we should talk about that. While we're having the actual Zoom meeting, they're more than welcome to leave stuff in the chat box, and then we will look at it and go from there. Because we are recording these meetings so that we can throw them onto YouTube. So if you miss a meeting, then you can see what it's all about, and you can go from there. Or maybe it's not even I missed a meeting, maybe it's I missed what they said, or I wasn't thinking that would be useful, but now I think it is 3 weeks later, so I want to go back to that meeting and go over what they talked about. Type of idea.
Revisit that subject, or ask a question there.
Exactly.
Okay, as a person who wants to write, but I just never get around to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
How would you organize, because you've done full-time working and writing, and then you've also done full-time writing?
Yes.
How would
full-time writing is a lot easier.
How would you organize schedules to, let's say, maybe meet a certain deadline that either you have for yourself, or maybe you're giving yourself, because I only have
so much time a week.
So much time a week, or so much, I need this done because I want it to be released for Christmas or a season.
Mm-hmm.
How would you organize yourself in both situations?
Okay, so that is an interesting question, because there's a couple different scenarios there, right? When you're working full time, you have to kind of grab the moments as they come up. And it's also really helpful if you dedicate a specific time each day for writing, when you feel that you're going to be productive, and when you can set that time, that block of time aside, and then that's your writing time, and you're not letting distractions in it to take away from it. Obviously, sometimes it's going to happen. Your distractions are going to come up, but you try and stick to it as much as possible. When you are writing for a deadline, you have to kind of look at it and say, okay, I want to get this book, and I was rapid releasing. So I was writing a book every 21 days for a little while, which was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. 50,000 words in 21 days, fully edited and ready to go within like 5 weeks. So that was crazy time. And basically I set aside a certain amount of time each day with a little bit extra, knowing approximately how many words I write an hour. And I don't write a lot of words an hour, but I tend to write, like, for me, my first draft is pretty much 70% of the final of what happens. For other people, they need to do a lot of editing, and that process is a lot bigger. So you have to kind of set up how much time does it regularly take for you to do this sort of thing. If you don't know, then you just have to kind of start and time yourself and see where it goes, so that you know that, okay, if I write for 2 hours a day, I get approximately 15 to 2,000 words. And then if I do that each day, then I can, split the average and say 1,750. I'm going to have approximately 1,750 words each day times 5 days a week or 6 days a week. This is how much I'm getting out a week. So I can expect by the end of week 5 to have however many words, right? So you just kind of do the math and approximate it. And some days you will skip, and some days you're going to have to put in an extra hour here and there to catch up. But if you make that dedication to yourself, that's how it works. And it can be difficult, but it's rewarding when you make it happen, because yes, I need to get back at it and do it. Anything, another question?
Well, I found in high school, you do your writing projects, and sometimes I'm procrastinating or I'm proactive. So each time it's different. But there were times where I was down to the wire, and then I finally, had those epiphanies, and I was up till 3 a.m.
I find, yeah, it's sometimes things come very easily to me, and I know where things are going. I'm a pantser. So that means is that I write, and I'll sometimes write a scene here and there, and sometimes I know where things are going, sometimes I don't, and I just keep writing and see where it takes me. I don't usually really overly do an outline until I'm probably 2/3 of the way through, so that I know where I'm filling the gaps and what sort of scenes I have to use to fill the gaps to get to the end. A lot of people, they like to plot. They're called plotters, and they like to know exactly what's going on when and where and how. And they like to have their whole book plotted out pretty much in very good detail before they go writing it. So they have, like, it's like sewing. They have a pattern before they get going. I don't have a pattern, so we just have a crazy quilt by the time I'm done. So each person is a little bit different in how they approach things. So like you said, the epiphany in the middle of the night. Sometimes I feel that I have to set a story aside for a while because I'm stuck. Or because I don't know where my characters are going just yet. And I could force them and write them. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it does not. And it just feels really awful and not right for my characters or where the story I want it to go. And so usually I set it aside for a while, and I keep it kind of on the back burner. And then, like you said, the epiphany comes in the middle of the night, and this light bulb goes off, and you're like, oh, that's why I was waiting. I was waiting because this person here wasn't in my story and they're integral. And I need to bring their plot line into it. I need to, come back to my villain and bring him forward and say, oh, this is what's happening. And just get that little rush where I'm like, yes, this fits. This is what I need to focus on here. And all the other characters, I need your reactions to what this is. Guy just also popped up in the middle of the night, waved his hand and said, dude, I'm here. This is what I gotta do. And that's kind of how my life goes with my characters. Sometimes I try to force them into doing things and they're like, no, that's not going to happen. And other times I'm like, oh, if I make you fall out of a plane, what will happen? And they're like, oh, you didn't. I'm like, I am. And away I go. And they just tell me their reactions and we all go running. I do that to my characters a lot. I kind of focus on like, what's the worst thing I can do to you? That's going to be a plot point. And away we go. It makes my life a lot of fun. But yeah, deadlines are hard.
Yeah, because I found sometimes you're not ready for it and it's procrastination because I'm kind of just trying to get into the right mindset or the right, something's just not quite,
it's not clicking.
And so I get
you're
there
sitting there and your brain's still trying to figure it out.
And sometimes you're like, oh, I got this, here's our project we got to do, and away we go, and it's great. And other times you're like, just not feeling it.
Oh yeah, it's hard sometimes, and sometimes it's a lot of fun because your characters are talking to you, and away you go. You write forever. Like I know where a lot of my story is going right now because I've been in this particular series for 9 books. I'm on book number 9. And so 8 of them are published. They're out there. They're doing their thing. And all along, we've talked to the characters. We've gone along with them, and we're meeting new characters and threading them in with the old. And we've still got our villain who's out there going, hey, you forgot about me last book. I got to come in this book. And so it just kind of like, how do I make everybody fit in this little world? And once in a while you sit back and you go, okay, I'm writing about these 2 and they're my main characters, but my sub characters that I need to draw in more so that you get more of them for the next book, I haven't been doing that. And so I woke up the other day and I went, how do I draw them in? How do I make them fit more with the main characters and where they're going? And so my poor guys are just going to complain because that's what they do. And my other guy is going to allude to his mystery. And, oh, I shook the table, so I shook the thing and I stubbed my toe. That was sweet. Anyhow, so my dude, one of my other little sub dudes, is going to allude to his mystery, and they're going to tease him, and they're going to talk about this and that and the next thing, and then my villain's going to pop his head in the next book, but I have to allude to it. And I have to get my other kind of sub villain who kind of is, but kind of isn't, my agent, my FBI agent, who's a pain in everybody's posterior. He's fabulously fun. And he's got to kind of come in and go, hey, I'm still here and I'm still watching. And what are you guys up to? And I know this doesn't sound like clean romance, does it? But it is. Every time it's a clean romance plot. And you just have these subplots all going around that make the book more interesting and more fun. Because, some people, they just want a clean romance. That's cool. I'm not one of those. I want to see what's going on. I want something interesting to draw me in and kind of make me go, oh, at the last second, because I'm on Desperate Housewives and a Grey's Anatomy and all those freaky fun, fun movies. And so there's televisions.
It's a more full story.
And it's not that I don't love the Harlequin romance. I do. Some of them can be quite funny, but they're all cheesy and they're all going in the same direction. And so I add the cheesy and then I put in a dash of, ooh, what's going to happen? Desperate Housewives, the body in the backyard. That's what I
like
do.
The full body book, not the full body, but the you like the flavor, the fun, the interesting.
I like a little bit of comedy, a little bit of surprise. I like to having a bad guy because everybody loves to hate the bad guy. They do. Yeah. And so everybody's a little bit different where they are, depending on what they're writing. Obviously, if you're writing like a political thriller, you're going to have a real bad guy, and you've got to keep up the suspense, right? And you got to keep people kind of, going, how does this connect to this? How does that work with that, right? It's a real mystery. Versus if you're writing a memoir about somebody, what's the interesting part of their life that you're talking about? What did they do? Where did they go? How was this relevant to history? So it's
what factors in what really maybe changed to who they are, or
yeah, changed who they are, or did they change world history? What pivot point is there, kind of? And yeah, so I love talking about books. You can tell that. I love talking about the process. So we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about the process. And I don't know much about traditional publishing. I will say that right loud and clear. But I know about self-publishing on Amazon. So if anybody's interested in talking about that, we know more about that. I'm sure a lot of people know, a lot about that and can help each other there as well.
What's a big thing that you've learned maybe from writing, now compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, in your process or how you approach it?
Oh, in 2004, if I had been a little bit more patient and been writing, well, I don't think 2004, I actually published the trilogy, or 2005, something like that. The trilogy, the fantasy medieval one. If I had known more about Amazon at the time, because we're getting more cluttered with books and stuff, right? I mean, there are millions and bazillions out there. I think I could have used my time more wisely to build up what I was doing, but I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to advertise. So I didn't know how to get things out into the public sphere as much, right? And to get the notice, because you can publish something, but if you don't tell people about it, nobody's going to know. So that is hugely important. I wish I had known how to market properly, how to advertise properly, how to do so within a budget, about mailing lists, newspaper lists, things like that. I wish I had known that a lot sooner, because I feel like it would have been a lot more successful. Also, in the writing process, I think I write far differently now than what I did then. I actually you grow as a writer as you mature and as you gain experience and as you write to a target market, or if you write just for yourself. Because I wrote a lot of things just for myself, and some of them are really good, and some of them I'll never publish the light of day because they're not for anybody else. And people wouldn't understand it. They probably wouldn't like it. They probably wouldn't get it. And when you write to market and you write for yourself at the same time, which is what I love doing with my clean romance stuff, because I feel like it's both in a lot of ways. And so when you do that, you've hit what I think is like a perfect sweet spot. And that is where you really want to be, because A, you will enjoy the process. If you enjoy the process, you will keep doing it. And B, people are going to like it, which means you're going to get sales. You're going to get repeat sales, especially when you write in a series. And that's where the sweet spot is. I mean, when you can get repeat sales and you get people going, hey, you should, read this new author, or hey, did you know so-and-so? She's writing books. And you get that word of mouth advertisement, and you get that special spot, which I think is really great. Do you have any last questions?
If you could have chosen or could choose a mentor, who would it be for your writing?
Janet Ivanovich. By all means, Janet Ivanovich. I really love her writing style. It is a lot kind of the same in each book, but it is totally funny. And every once in a while, she pops something in there that I was not expecting at all. And I'm the kind of person who grew up reading extensively all over the sphere. And I read a lot. And when you know what's coming for the murder mysteries, and you know what's coming for, the suspenseful horror books, and what's basically going to happen in the romance books, when you get an author that surprises you every now and then, it makes my day. And she's very funny and very fast. And that's what I like to read, and I like to write, funny and fast. And I really enjoy her work. Yeah, she's great. If
I like her
anybody's
books too.
if anybody's read her books or seen the movie one for the money, that was pretty good. Yeah, no, her books about the Stephanie Plum series, they're awesome. Janet has my full admiration. So does is it Craig Johnson? I think it's Craig Johnson. He writes the Longmire series. And again, okay, Longmire on TV, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. You know, I've watched Louis L'Amour growing up. I've read the books. He's pretty good, but the books are better than the TV series. He's seriously a funny writer, and he's got this mean little sense of humor. And the first time I picked up his book, when it said it was dedicated to his brother, and it said something about you know, and I don't think it was an apology. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something about, yeah, you know, I ran him over with the bike too many times, you know, his head with the bike too many times. And I just went, oh, that's your dedication? I love it. And right there, I mean, he just hooks me because every once in a while there's this snarky little comment and it's like, oh, that was out of left field. I love it. Again, it's the mean little comedy that gets me excited, which is probably bad, but that's who I am. And everybody's different. Everybody has their talents, right? There are some great writers out there, and I know other people are like, are you kidding me? So and so's far better. Okay, that's cool. That's your great person, and you should have a great person that you read and you admire their work and you try to emulate in your own style, right? Because no plagiarism, but you know, you can emulate other people's works to an extent.
By
you can
pulling
learn. You can learn from the masters, right?
And you're pulling from, okay, I like being surprised. I like how it's intriguing. I like how maybe they pull characters from society, or they pull characters from history, or they pull characters, you know, the family dynamic or the friend dynamic, or you know, the dynamics that they play with, that you can pull from and use for yours without plagiarizing, without stealing, without
kind of break down
copycatting
their book. Like if you read a really great book and this book is great to you, break down that book. Go at it and look at it and go, okay, in chapter 3 was the surprise turnaround that nobody saw coming. So maybe in your chapter 3, you want to put a surprise turnaround. Or you're saying this character grabbed me because A, B, C, and D. So you can write a character that is similar because it grabs you because of those reasons, right? And so you you break it down, the plot, the characters, where the story's going, how it makes you feel. Because if you can get how it makes you feel and why it makes you feel at specific parts of the story, and you emulate that, that is a huge key on how to gain readers. Because if you're seeing, you love this book and it has a huge following of types of books, right? Of readers who love this type of material, then if I'm not saying copycatting, but I'm saying you're breaking down key elements and transporting that into your work, that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay. And that will help you become a better writer.
I would say, you know, even just pulling from it things, you know, reasons why you identify with it, or reasons why it sparks your interest and keeps you interested.
Yeah.
Or what kind of, how full-bodied those characters are that you know, is it a surface go and you don't really get into it too much? Like you said, you're not one for flowery explanations of all the settings.
I'm not a details girl.
So,
but I have a different sister who totally is. Yeah. She loves, you can give her 3 pages of details, she will sink right in it and sniff the page and go, oh, I'm in the flower garden. And I'm sitting here going, get out of the flower garden. What's happening? I need some action. Where's the bone? You know, where's the dog unburying the body? And she wants to know what color the tulips are. And I could care less. But everybody, again, is their own, right? So you have to write to your audience and you have to write what you love.
So if you see that there's a lot of people for that style of writing and you love it, then you know that might work for you.
Those are your readers. That's your audience.
And that's what you know and who you are, kind of thing, as well as what you like. So you're going to be fun with it. if you see that there's a huge market for this type of writing, and you're like, okay, I should write that, but you can't stand to read one of those books,
you're probably not going to be great at writing it.
it's going to be like a school project, and you're going to be like,
Yeah. So,
we're
yeah.
blurry. We blurred up there from, I don't know how or why.
Probably because everybody's on the internet. Bandwidth. And I have a kind of a crappy webcam. So I got to get a better webcam. I do have one. Like I said, I think it's in the trailer.
Yeah, I took a look at it.
So we're kind of at the end. So we had fun just talking between us because nobody showed up. So next time, maybe you should show up and join the conversation, and you can have an opinion too. And we can, pick each other's brains and be little idea. What do they call it when you shoot ideas off of each other?
Idea magnets, but no.
There is a term. I can't remember it. You'll find that. I don't always remember a thing. And 5 minutes later, I'll be like, oh, that's it. Yeah. Your little bounce ideas off each other. I forget what it's called. Somebody knows. Somebody will correct me. Somebody will say anything. So Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock on Thursdays. I've set this up as a reoccurring meeting. So you should be able to use the same link, same ID to just come to Zoom. And we'll do it again next week, and hopefully we have some participants. If not, then I'll just talk to myself and record it and throw it on YouTube because maybe somebody will enjoy it.
So we'll look for Josephine Bintema on YouTube if you missed this.
Yes, if you missed it, look for Josephine Bintema on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, even though, or if you're just tuning in now and all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, oops.
No, they're not tuning in now.
So, yeah. Okay.
I always was unpopular, so that's cool. I can talk to myself all day long. So hopefully we'll see you next time. And take care. Enjoy reading. Enjoy writing.
And can they message you questions in between?
Sure, why not?
To find
on Facebook, you can find me at Josephine Bintema. You can message me questions in between, or you can message on YouTube to me. Don't guarantee that I'll always get back to you because I'm kind of spotty on my social media, but I will try. And by all means, show up. And we'll do question and answers right here. We'll talk, whatever, anything related to writing and publishing, anything. I mean, if we're one-on-one, you could literally read your book to me and I'll, go, okay, that's cool there. Or maybe you should switch that up there. Or I'll look at you and say, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't know anything about cooking Indian food. I can't help you, but I can help you with the, blurb, maybe. Or how to publish it specifically on Amazon or whatever, right? Because we all know different things. And we're all somebody's expert because somebody is a little bit further along in the process than us and somebody's a little behind in the process than us. So if we all help each other and just bounce ideas off of each other, sounding boards, that's what they are. Idea sounding boards. Yeah, see, I told you. I get it 5 minutes later. So Thursdays, 7 Eastern Standard Time. Bye.
Have a nice day.